this 2024, the best thing for you to learn is programming. Why? Every occupation, no matter the occupation, even carpentry, even doctors, even lawyers, everyone is trying to advance into technology to make their work easier. So learning programming will give you a lot more edge over people when looking for a job. So this is not just about carrying a laptop and start typing. There are steps to take that is slow before trying to venture into programming language, so that you won't act like me. After learning some few programming language, I had to go back to start again to learn other ones. So there are things you need to know. There are some things you have to know before jumping into programming. I'm going to tell you that right now. So the first thing for you to know is the type of technology you want to pursue. There are many technologies concerned with programming, like web development, app development, machine learning, cybersecurity, and DevOps. So knowing this will actually tell you the first programming language you need to know, and it also is the first step into learning programming. So knowing what you want to do first is very essential. Now here, a lot of people make mistake in this first number here, because a lot of people from my survey start learning programming with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, which is not bad because no knowledge is a waste, but it's not a must to start with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The reason why a lot of people start with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is because they tend to be very easy and lead you straight up to what programming looks like. Unlike starting with programs like C and C++. But learning C and C++ also gives you an edge depending on the career you're about to pursue. So that's why I said knowing the career you're about to pursue, the number one thing you need to know when trying to learn programming language. So there are a lot of technology careers like web development, game development, app development, cybersecurity, DevOps, and blockchain. So all these things, whenever you want to venture into one, there are programming languages that you need to know at first before trying to venture into other programming languages. So the number two thing you need to do when trying to learn programming language is to learn the fundamental languages. Now each language has its own fundamental language and a more advanced language, or let me say like that, a more advanced language. But sometimes it's just learning the language to be more advanced. It doesn't actually have a different name. You're just learning the advanced language and not the fundamentals again. So these fundamentals, you can learn it from anywhere. Easiest from YouTube, and YouTube is very free. If you want to learn programming language, I think YouTube is the first place you have to go if you are low on cash. There are other free tools, or let me say free websites like W3 Schools, which are also a good website to start learning programming language. So these are fundamental programming language you need to know. For example, so if you are into web development, like I said before, the first thing you need to know is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If you are into app development, the most essential language you need to know is Java. If you are into game development, C is very essential for you, and if possible, you should add on C#. If you are into cybersecurity, Bash and Python should be good for you. So either you learn Bash first or you learn Python first. Like for me, for example, I learned Bash before Python because I found Bash to be very easy compared to Python. Python also is easy, not to say. Then, if you are into data science, I think you should learn Python. If you are also into machine learning, Python is the best thing for you to learn also. So after learning the fundamentals of each and every one of these skills, depending on the one you want to go into, sorry to say, you mustn't know everything. Like I said before, you mustn't know every programming language in the whole world. So you need to know the one you want to know first. So after learning the fundamentals of the programming language, the next thing you need to know is to specialize in a field. Now, all these courses here, or let me say, all these careers here I listed are broad, and you can specialize in each and every one of these fields. For example, if you're into web development, there are three specializations in web development. That is full stack, front end, and back end. Now, front end developers only need to know the fundamentals, like I said, like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Not only that, they need to learn React and jQuery and a lot more programming languages that are more like JavaScript. Then if you're into backend development, you need to learn SQL for database, you need to learn Python, you need to learn PHP, and a lot more programming languages. Then if you're into app development, since we have two operating systems in the world today, that is iOS and Android, you need to learn either for Android or for iOS, or you can learn for both. So if you want to learn for Android, I think you should go on with Java, and if you want to learn for iOS, you should learn Swift. Then for cybersecurity is a broad career, and programming language is very necessary, but both you are learning programming languages, each and every one of those careers, or let me see, each and every one of those specialization needs to actually know it. So if I need to, let me say I'm trying to venture into penetration testing, so I learned Bash, Python, and Golang. But that doesn't mean you cannot learn JavaScript, and you cannot learn PHP and other ones, and Ruby for example. But the fundamentals of it is still Python and Bash, and also PowerShell. After specializing in a field, the next thing for you to do is to build projects. Now, very mistakes people learn when learning programming language is not building projects. Now, no matter what you learn, the smallest thing you learned, build a project with that thing. Even if it's 5 lessons you're taking, try and build a project with those 5 lessons and see how good you are when building projects with your own brain. And also try to ask ChatGPT, because ChatGPT is your friend. Don't try to act only by yourself, which will not lead you to anything good. So just try and ask questions and try build your own projects by yourself. And after building your own project and also learning, because you'll be learning and building projects and also learning, the next thing you should do is to join communities and follow people, find mentorships. People actually don't do this here because they don't see a reason for it, or let me say no one introduced them to it. No one ever told them to find mentorship or join groups. So there are many groups you can join for programming. For example, there are Discord groups you can join. You can go online, search for Discord groups or Facebook groups or a lot of groups and join them and follow them and make contributions. Join them in making contribution. If there are any project to build projects. I think there is one community that is free, Zuri internship, where you can meet a lot of people learning programming languages and also follow them to build projects. Zuri internship, in case you are trying to join them, I think it's starting this year. It's occurs twice every year or once every year. So if you are to join this year, head on to zuriinternship.com and join them and register for them. I think I register for them almost every year to build projects. So after learning and joining communities, I think we are step up, and by now we have already built 3 to 5 projects. Then I think you are good to become a programmer. And after that, the next thing for you to do is to venture into more programming language, because learning one might not be okay for you or might not be good. For example, learning only Bash in cybersecurity isn't the best thing. You should learn at least Bash and Python. So after learning one, you should go into the next order with these following steps I just listed. So what do you think about my following steps? I'm going to list them out again. So the first one, and the first thing I say, is doing the type of technology you want to pursue. So this is very important. Like I said in my first minute of this video, this particular one here is very important, because knowing the kind of technology you want to pursue is the first thing you need to do. Then the second one is knowing the fundamentals of the programming languages. So if you're into web development, you should know the fundamentals like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Then, after knowing the fundamentals, you should specialize in a field. After specializing in a field, build projects, then join communities. I hope you found this video helpful. Tell me in the comment section, and thank you for watching.